Before we start this podcast, I'd like to mention a football group based in Ceredigion called Jumpers for Goalposts. Their main aim is to give people the opportunity to play, take part and enjoy playing the game so that they receive the physical and mental health benefits, and it's open for people of any gender or ability. For more information, check out Jumpers for Goalposts on Facebook and Instagram. We'll also add these links to these pages on our social media as well. Welcome to Over the Falls podcast with myself, Dave Lewis, Med Rendell, and Luke Dukes Jones. The premise for this podcast is to break the stigma that men don't talk, to sit down, chat, and try and put the world to right. Initially, we'll be picking our subjects at random, but as we go further along in the podcast series, we'll be introducing guests from the local area, nationally, and who knows, even internationally. So here we go.
Okay, welcome to Over the Falls podcast number 10. I just want to start this one off by saying thank you to everyone who has supported us on this journey so far. And we really appreciate all of the messages, comments, likes and shares we've been receiving, as it all helps with raising awareness for men's mental health and that we are trying to break the stigma that men don't talk. So on that note, this particular episode, we're going to ask each other, how are you? And really find out how we are actually doing rather than dodging the subject like many of us do when asked this particular question. So, how are we doing?
It's very easy to ask, but hard to answer, isn't it? How deep do you go when someone asks you that straight away?
I guess we could just do it
personally,
like us though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and we're pretty comfortable with each other. So, who wants to go first?
Well, I'm certainly guilty of going, yeah, I'm fine, nearly
I think
every
it's
single
everybody's
time.
go-to,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but
But no one really wants to say,
You know what though? I think
not,
you do
not good.
I don't know. Realistically though, you're not gonna bare your soul to everybody though, are you? Really?
Of course you're not.
So I think everyone's guilty of doing it. I do it all the time. Say if I'm pretty stressed, I'm absolutely knackered, and I just think, you know what? They probably don't want to hear that I've been up multiple times in the night with my youngest. So I just say, yeah, I'm alright. But really, I'm just I'm so tired.
yeah,
You know,
it's true. That was
my eyeballs are bleeding. I'm trying to get through the day.
cocktail
You know,
sticks in the eyes.
that's the one.
I unfortunately just had that now. I was in Costa just down the road and I bumped into a guy in there I haven't seen in a while called Matt. Really nice guy. Rolled with him in jiu-jitsu a couple of times, and I wasn't feeling not sociable, but I was just I just want to sit down, have a coffee, and so I was just yeah, absolutely fine. A bit tired, and I just went over to the corner. He must have thought I was so rude, so I'm sorry if that came across, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, it's funny. We do just generally do that, and I think blokes. We said it in the last sort of mental health one, which we did. We targeted. It was sort of blokes are very good at just sort of skirting over that question, that subject, being put on the spot like that. It's so easy to just go, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Where a lot of the time, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you're right though. You don't want to sort of bare your soul to someone in the middle of the street because they probably don't want to hear it.
Or
maybe,
burden
someone
them
with
or
it.
whatever. But I think there is a time and a place and certain people, because if you don't know people that well, even though we're really promoting men to be more honest, I do understand that you're not going to be super honest to everybody, because it's just not overly realistic to do that.
No.
But it's just important to talk to the select people, like your loved one, your close friends.
Yeah,
I think
group, isn't
that's
it?
what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so nice to see you on the street though. If you walk around town on a random day and you see people having a big chat,
That's great.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I know some old dears or groups of 5 lads or something. It's really nice, isn't it?
No, it is, yeah, and I think it's good to, as we're doing promoting the fact that it's fine to do that, don't to be ashamed of. If you speak to we do, we sit here and we chat and we get a lot off our chests and we talk about stuff which goes a lot deeper than what a lot of people actually get into, which is great. So I mean, how are we doing? I think for me, when we discussed this subject first of all, Meg, because you brought this up as in we're doing like a check-in kind of episode, isn't it? Just see how we're actually doing.
Yeah, I thought episode
2,
10,
3 or 5 episodes.
Episode 10 is a really good one to maybe start this off, because it's it's a nice round number, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've done 10.
I know, it's pretty
It's-
impressive.
it's
Yeah, that in itself
Quite
is
chuffed with that.
pretty crazy actually.
It just I just thought because I like doing things in circles. It's really hard to describe, but I like things that are like set. So like maybe every 3 we check in, even not even for a whole episode, just like maybe midway through it, stop. Right, this is the check-in time.
Or you could start it with it, kind of like what we're doing now, I suppose.
And it's good practice as well for people who are listening to this. Maybe reach out or go for a drink with your mate or a coffee with your mate,
template.
Whoever it is. It's good just to ask each other, how are you actually doing?
Yeah.
So going back to the point I was saying is like when we first started talking about doing this checking in episode, you immediately said, because I'm really not looking forward to the winter. I was like, shit, I'm exactly the same, because every year I go down that, I'm not really looking forward to the winter now. We get to this time of year when the weather starts changing, the nights start creeping a little bit, it's darker in the mornings, and you start thinking, okay, things start limiting now of what we can actually do outside.
I'm really, really aware of it this year, because last winter I had a bad one. I wasn't depressed, don't get me wrong, I was still fine, but I was just sadder than I've been, or maybe more like lethargic and miserable and just annoyed that winter was happening.
It is frustrating that you can definitely do less. Like that's a fact.
But like this, when summer happened this year, I was like, oh, thank fuck, it's so good. And then I've literally been dreading this winter, and now it's starting. I can see like the leaves are starting to come off. The wind is stronger consistently. It's getting darker. The clouds are mad. It's like, oh.
It's quite a long winter as well in the UK, isn't it?
Really long.
Because it's certainly not warm anymore outside. That dropped quite quickly from about 2 weeks ago. We had it was pretty nice weather.
When September
all
came,
of a sudden,
switch.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in the sea in like a pair of shorts and it was like 35 degrees. And that does not feel that long ago.
No.
It probably isn't that long ago. But now I'm like putting a hoodie on and stuff and thinking it was like a little bit chilly now. The nights are drawing in and stuff like that and definitely changing.
It is changing.
What don't you specifically like? Let's see if we can share any like actual things. Like, so what don't you like about it specifically?
Okay, going to work in the dark. Coming home
back
in the dark.
Oh.
So basically, your day, like hours of actually being able to do stuff, is actually being in work.
Yeah.
So that goes out the window for what, 6 months, 5 or 6 months.
So yeah, it's a long time. I mean,
It's quite a long
you're
time.
looking at going into like say May or something. I don't know. It goes quite far into when it hits into spring.
Yeah.
So it is a long drag with the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
The cold.
Yeah, the
I would
constant cold.
Much rather be in hot weather than cold weather.
Yeah.
Any day of the week. That for me, I much prefer heat. I know some people love the winters, but for me, I'm the polar opposite basically. So
I used to think
don't like the cold, don't like the
I
rain.
was okay. I used to think I was okay and like hardcore, and winter was coming. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I think I was lying.
Yeah, just lied to
Definitely
yourself.
lied to myself.
Yeah.
I love summer and sunshine so much.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because it's the endorphins, the vitamin D. You just feel alive, don't you?
I'm
Because
way
after
more
last-
awake and
Yeah.
on the ball in summer.
Yeah, I agree. Same as me. I mean, after last winter, because it did feel particularly long again, and through like the COVID winters we had, the 2 years when stuff was closed and we couldn't do anything, that was quite tough. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I think what my point was. So when March came around this year, when we first had that nice few days of weather,
Yeah.
I was sitting on my deck and outside and just being like, oh God, the sun.
Yeah.
Just feel a little bit of warmth.
Yeah.
And you sort of just feel alive again.
Yeah.
It does
It's
make
really
you
weird.
feel.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it does make you feel a lot better because we spoke about this a little bit off here, and I don't really I dislike the winter for I think the same reasons that you do and you do, Med.
Fundamentally, yeah.
But I think I maybe hate it a little bit less sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, even though I agree with the nights, you can't do as many things, particularly with the kids. It's difficult and stuff. I guess I just try and hit those little landmarks of winter that I can look forward to. So I'm thinking, right, the next one now realistically is probably Halloween. I know it's only one day, but you're like, right, I can look forward to that. And then you think, right, maybe I can look forward to Bonfire Night. and then do something there, and then it rolls on to Christmas. And I know that's only like 3 things, and that's only like 3 days if you break it down for like a long winter that's almost 6 months. But I think that's maybe my way of dealing with it, is what's the next thing I can sort of look forward to.
And I think that's a really good thing to do as well.
Yeah,
Because you've
definitely.
got sort of
Good way
like
to
those
think about it.
goalposts of getting through the dark nights and the cold weather.
Yeah.
And consciously now as well, for me, I'm going to try and get myself into more of a routine of maybe just trying to be more active, even though the weather's bad.
Have like a fitness routine.
Yeah, just to keep the brain going.
Yeah.
Even though it's absolutely hammering down outside, you can still do a little bit of a fitness routine
I'm
inside.
going to do exactly the same. I'm going to start
It makes
probably
you feel
October,
good, doesn't it?
Start in October and work all the way through until I feel that natural
Yeah.
sunshine and we can go outside again properly now.
But also, like, what I do enjoy about the winter sometimes, like we go for a walk. When we started going out and we did a few mountains last winter, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was
That
really
was
good.
so fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I do definitely enjoy that side of it.
Yeah,
But then
'cause that was quite cool.
subconsciously though, we started going for those walks, and randomly it just happened to be in the winter. And maybe subconsciously we needed something to get us through that winter.
Yeah.
And when we went hiking, this was before any real ideas of the podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I can't even remember how it started, but we just wanted to do a few mountains in the winter,
Yeah.
didn't we?
So that one winter we did Snowdon, Cadair Idris,
Cadair.
and then Plinlimmon.
Yeah,
Plinlimmon.
we did Plinlimmon
Yeah.
as well. Did we do more than that? We definitely did those
Oh my
three.
God, we did Plinlimmon in the snow, didn't
Oh,
we?
it was
And
like-
Yeah.
blind.
Absolutely
That was actually really
stunning
good.
up there,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so winter's not like, it's not doom and gloom throughout. Of
course not, no.
I prefer it way less to summer.
Yeah. I
So
get
what are
it.
your bits you don't like then?
Exactly the same as you. I don't like the dark being constant.
Mm.
So I was going to go straight into positives then. I don't like the wet, and also it's like everybody that you meet seems to be just a little bit less happy and approachable, and it's just like everybody's just got fucking gloom about it.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody suffers a little bit with the winter, but then not everyone's honest about it.
True.
Maybe
yeah.
if people were a bit more honest about it, they'd be like, yeah, you know what, I'm really not looking forward to this run of weather and all that, you know?
Yeah, I guess I feel like I'm restrained in what I can do.
That's a really good way of putting it.
And, and I don't like that at all.
Mm.
But I mean, I like Christmas now. I haven't liked Christmas in a long while. We can talk about that if you want. It's due to family and having to stressfully go in between a couple of people's houses. It's no fault of anyone's. It's just sometimes I haven't looked forward to it.
Yeah.
But like my partner now, she skims over all that and she just shows me like the best parts about Christmas. And she's like, it doesn't matter. Like, go to that house, doesn't matter, does it?
Mm. We'll get them to come to you.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
If you find it that hard and you're open about it.
When you open that conversation up with family members, they come straight back with, "Why don't you just say anything?"
Mm-hmm.
So it's all in your head anyway.
Yeah.
Communication is
Communication's
key a lot of the times.
Yeah. So do you feel like low as in how sort of...
Well, I hate having wind and rain blasted in my face when I'm mountain biking, right?
It is horrible.
That's one of my like pet peeves. Even in summertime, if there's a rainy, windy day, I'm like, I don't care if it's warm, but I'm not going.
No.
I throw a hoodie like all day. I'm goose stepping around the house, like. But I need to get over those things because I remember when we went on those walks, and even when I go mountain bike, we've been mountain biking together as well.
Horrendous weather.
Really bad
It's
weather.
so fun though, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Like while you're actually there,
Oh,
it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's just the thought of it as well is the problem, I think, a lot
So I'm
of the
gonna
time.
do some. I'm
Thought
gonna
of-
do some serious like work upstairs and be like, just get over those hurdles and actually do it because
Yeah.
you've got to remember when you're doing it, it's better than what you think it's going to be.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Trying to get
And-
yourself off the couch, isn't it? It's hard sometimes.
It is
Yes.
hard. Yeah, it is hard. That's the hardest part, is getting out the door, I
Yeah,
think.
comfy, warm,
Yeah.
And it is
to
harder
face the elements.
in the winter, isn't it? Like when we all used to do jiu-jitsu, I even had it a little bit with that in the winter, and I'm sort of like came home from work and then that killer half an hour when you like sit on the sofa
Yeah.
and you have a tea,
Yeah.
maybe you have a couple of hobnobs,
Oh yeah.
and then you're thinking,
Chocolate coated.
for some reason that gym or that dojo or whatever you're thinking of becomes less appealing.
Definitely.
It
You know?
seems so far away. It's like it's what, a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. Even when we were
There's
training
nothing.
in, say, Llanrusted or even
Yeah.
further afield
Yeah.
for various martial arts that we used to do over the years, you know, and then as soon as you get there and you start warming up, you feel so much better.
You do. Yeah, so it's the
Yeah.
thought of it, isn't it? And actually getting
Yeah.
yourself out of the door is like the struggle.
Because I mean, we get that every day with work in a sense, don't you? You say if you've been off for 2 days or even a holiday, the night before you're going back to work. I don't know about you guys actually, but I have a terrible night's sleep.
the night before you go back
Yeah,
to work,
after like a little stint off.
down to stress and worry about what you're
I think it's
walking into.
what I'm
and
going to walk
things.
into, yeah, or the state of the building. Is how many emails have I got left to
Yeah.
answer, or you know, did I put the automatic replies on?
That's a classic. Yeah.
I'm out of the office, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a little bit like school when you win that big, was
big
it
gap.
6 or 7 week holiday, and then remember that Sunday night, and then like I can't remember. There's always the same program on a Sunday night. But anyway, you're watching like the same program
Quantum Leap?
on a maybe Quantum Leap, or maybe I was thinking the Road Show, and you think, oh my god, the Antics
Antics
Road
Roadshow.
Show's on.
Yeah.
I'm going to school tomorrow, and it was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For some
And then your
reason.
parents would be like, right, bed, and you're like,
Oh no, school
claw in the
tomorrow.
lounge.
But then the
Yeah.
morning comes, and then you go to school, and it's not even that bad.
It's
No.
fine in
Just
school,
like
yeah.
when you go back to work.
It's the trepidation of what's to come, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think I get that in like, everything's more emphasised. Like more negative things are a bit more emphasised in winter for me.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe that's what it actually is. Maybe that's just everything's a little bit more doom and gloomy. So it's
Just
it's like
tougher, isn't it?
stronger. It's affecting me stronger.
Yeah.
I guess it's harder to deflect it.
Yeah, I've certainly had low points through winters looking back since we started talking about this episode about the winters and
Yeah.
I mean, it's been some days before the kids where I wouldn't get out of bed like on a Saturday or sometimes on a Sunday as well. I just didn't want to do anything at
Well,
all.
yeah.
Because you look outside,
Exactly.
it's hammering with rain, it's freezing cold, and you're just like, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to chill out in bed and just
Yeah.
watch like Netflix or whatever it may be. But if it was sunny outside, then that's a whole different story. You'd feel so guilty. You'd be like, I'm going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
It's different, isn't it?
It really is.
But then there's some places around the world where it's darker for way longer as well, isn't there? I think it's like Scandinavian countries. We were talking about this the other day, weren't
I think
we?
northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, isn't it? Sort of like the higher you go up north, or the lower you go down south. So like even Outer Hebrides in Scotland, or like Scandinavian
Yeah.
countries, or like high points of Russia, high points of Northern America. I think just anything high or low, isn't it? And you can get like 2 hours of sunlight or something. I like, even though I don't feel like I suffer like that bad in the winter, I absolutely couldn't do that.
No.
Is in
No
like
way.
like it's bad enough. Like we're all talking about now, going from say 4 p.m. it's dark, and then realistically, when does it get light? Like maybe like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Or like you've got like that long stint. And even though I don't really think about it too much, I think I've half subconsciously tried to protect myself from the winter without even realizing it. Like I told Dave and you, Med, the other day, that for the last 2 or 3 years I've been taking vitamin D pills because I read something or I heard on a podcast. So I started to take them. I think they did genuinely make me feel better because of the lack of sunlight you get in the winter. So subconsciously, I guess I have been doing things in the winter
I
slightly
mentioned that
differently.
to my boss,
Yeah.
literally as you were messaging about it.
Yeah.
And she said exactly the same. She goes, "Oh yeah, I've been doing that for years."
No way.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, I'm definitely going to try it this
missing
winter.
the trick. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to look into them.
Just buy 'em.
I'll buy them now.
Yeah,
Like,
and
this
there's
this
also,
week I'm
you
going to
can
get some.
daylight bulbs now.
Yeah, someone else was telling us about these.
My dad mentioned it today.
What?
They have. I was going to say they have vitamin D in them. they like mimic daylight,
Okay.
so it's a different
Yeah.
like just through your eyes. I think
So
not actually on your skin or anything, but like through your eyes.
So
it
nothing
has
like
this-
that.
No, that's like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this,
bright.
this is like warm white, say.
Yeah.
But like a daylight or a cool white is like a little bit more like natural light that would come through the
Yeah.
window.
Okay.
You know, so I'm not sure if it's
Well,
got
that's
any
nice.
UV
Yeah.
properties, but just the sort of placebo effect of maybe you thinking you're outside.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like you're in a more a naturally lit room rather than there's the light on sort of thing. I've never used one. I don't even know what one looks like, but
No, sound good though. I'm certainly going to get on those vitamin D tablets though, for sure. I'm down
Yeah,
to
I
do
just
that.
think,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just think
Was it just like one a day, or what are you?
you know what? Read what they are. I think I bought vitamin D3. I must have bought them for a reason. I think I must have listened to a podcast, thought I'm going to get them,
Yeah.
and I ordered them off My Protein, I think it was. And there was something like vitamin D3, and then it tells you on the back, like, you know, how many you've taken, and it's something crazy like 1,000% of your RDA or whatever. But that's what you need apparently to make you feel good. And then another reason why I think I had them, because it probably did tie into COVID. I remember on the news it was saying that people that were deficient in vitamin D were more likely to suffer from COVID. And then I was thinking, like, well, you know, it could either be people with maybe a little bit more unhealthy lifestyles and they naturally get a little bit less light, or there could be some real truth to a vitamin D deficiency and suffering worse from COVID. So I think it was a little bit of the double thing going on why I bought them, you know.
Makes
But
sense.
they seem to make me feel better, even if it was a placebo effect. Hard to tell, isn't it?
It's hard to tell, but I'm certainly
well,
going to
I'm
give it a go.
definitely going to
Yeah.
Certainly going to give it a go.
Yeah.
I suppose I've got like two questions to raise here then. So obviously the positives now, if we I think we've hit quite a few negatives there. It'd be good to hit positives of what we can look forward to and stuff we're going to do to kind of get through this winter. But the other one was, like, have you ever thought about moving abroad to sort of escape it? Do you know?
I've not thought seriously about moving abroad. I think I have always told you guys, like, I really want to move to Australia or wherever. But, like, I dream about that, I dream about living in another country that never gets quite as miserable in the winter.
Yeah.
Like, definitely. But I don't know, it's such a scary thing to do, as that in itself, to start doing that process.
That's huge,
and then-
isn't it? It's a massive process.
It's a really big deal to do. I've certainly thought about it. I wouldn't say I've gone down the line of mega serious, but I did look into Australia and the job I had and how realistic it was and the age you have to be. So I went a little bit down into that. But for me, the main thing why I wouldn't do it, and I reckon a lot of people would feel like this, is family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair
And
enough.
it's not just for my sake. It would be thinking of my mum and not seeing the grandkids for like her. So for me, I probably quite like to live in, say, Australia or America or something like that.
hard
But
to do
then
that.
that, like a lot of people, I'm certainly not the only person, I bet loads of people don't do it because of that very reason of family and friends.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know?
And the upheaval, especially with like, say if you've got young kids, like, you know, it could be amazing for the first 6 months, could be amazing for the first year or two. But then you're like, oh, we made the right decision. Maybe you're not enjoying the school they're in. You start to think, like, oh, should we move back? And
It's different if
when
they
you're
were
like
born
really
there.
settled, and
I guess the older
totally
they get,
unsettle them again.
Yeah, maybe the worse it gets because they've made really good friendships in school.
Well, exactly.
And then
yeah.
you're going to uproot them.
Oh yeah, you'd feel so guilty as a parent doing that, wouldn't you? And just taking them out of their comfort zone. But the thing is, it could be superb as well, though. It could be the
Course it
best thing
could.
you've ever done, and thought,
Yeah.
why are we living in the
In
UK
that
for so
respect,
long?
it's time, isn't it? It's like time will probably heal people, because people are quite good at healing over time, I think, for a lot of different reasons and things. So, maybe if you uprooted a teenager, that would be a bit less easy. Like, you might get more friction from the teenager,
Yeah,
and you might be breaking some serious bonds of friendship there. Like
lots of roots as well,
yeah,
isn't
lots
there?
of roots.
Well, it could be
exactly.
anything. If they're a teenager, they could even be in a relationship or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they'd be
yeah.
like, what, you're going to take me away from my partner? I don't know. It'd get like really complicated, I
Yeah.
imagine, the older
Yeah.
say they get. But yeah, no, I've definitely thought about it. I know you've thought about it as well, Dave, haven't you?
But yeah, I was sort of halfway through my visa process to go to Australia because, like you, I've got a
Amazing.
trade, and I was dead set on going until I met Catherine. Not that she ruined it or anything, but I was dead set on doing it because I just wanted to give it a good go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I've got a really good life here, so
Yeah.
can't complain anyway. But I was actually with my mate from Melbourne this weekend.
Yeah.
And he comes over every year because he's got family here. And hi, Pete, by the way. And he lived in, I think it was London for like 4 years. And sorry to make a negative spin on this again,
Sorry.
but yeah, he was over here working for a little while. And I remember talking about the winter to him, maybe like last year or something. He said he would never, ever do a UK winter ever again.
There you go.
It's like,
there you go.
You know, because the thing is, because of the climate, like the Australians or, you know, they're so used to like decent weather.
Yeah.
This is totally alien now, isn't it? Really, like
Yeah.
the depths of our winters. So yeah, but yeah, I would love to have moved there for the climate and the outdoors, and you know, just the options that you can have, like the beaches, and kind of selling it to myself again now. I'm probably going to be Googling Australia after this.
I think for me to do it, you know, in any sort of time scale, I'd have to have a lot of. I'd have to win the lottery possibly or something as well.
Yeah.
Like, not like a million, like just a good influx of cash to be comfortable for that first point where you're like, oh my god, I'm here now.
Yeah.
You know, you
Well,
might
yeah,
be
I
working
think-
still, but like, it's got to be expensive to move countries, isn't it?
Oh, mega now.
Yeah, I would
definitely.
have thought so. I don't know everything
Unless you
about
literally
it,
go
but
off the map and just go to Europe. And
I'd certainly
disappear.
secure a job though before I go. I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Is they literally secure the work, like what Dave was saying, trades. I've seen a few programs on it. I can't remember what it's called now. It's like Moving Out into the Sun or whatever. I remember watching one, and he was an electrician, and he was weighing up his job, you know, options, and they were telling him like how much he would earn in, like, say Brisbane, I think they moved to, and he moved his whole family. And I'm guessing he worked for an electrical contractor here, and he moved over. I don't know. It was really interesting, the program, and then I think that was at the point where I was thinking about it. But
Yeah.
Realistically now, I think the option of when the kids are a little bit older, going away on a winter holiday is more realistic for me to break up the winter.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm an idiot when it comes to my annual leave. I blast it all on like concerts. So,
Yeah, but
like,
you do love
I
concerts.
love going to
though.
concerts, but like
So-
I don't have enough annual leave now to break up my winter like at all.
Oh no.
Like,
Right,
Okay.
so you use it
I've
a
got
lot, yeah.
dates where I've already booked into whatever concerts coming up, but like
Yeah.
a sunshine escape for me is impossible now, unless I take unpaid leave, which I probably won't do because
And
times
then-
is tough at the moment.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the money aspect.
But I'm just like, why do I do that?
We know a lot of people though who do go away for winter breaks, and
Yeah.
I haven't done it for a while now. I don't think we've been on holiday abroad since, God, it's got to be 4.5 years now. Obviously, I think you can just cancel the 2 COVID years anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to be able to do a week or 2 away.
Yeah.
Just, you're right, just break it up.
And you look
I'm
forward
just looking
to
forward to that.
Yeah, one
Oh,
more thing.
every
So
year.
then you've got kind of like Halloween, bonfire night, Christmas, holiday, and then spring, and then
Yeah,
and
There
then
then, isn't it?
and then another thing was like the fitness aspect of it. Like I'm gonna do this 10K in December,
The
which I'm
10K.
I'm just gonna sign up to it
Yeah.
like now, just so I can't pull out of it.
That's the best way to do it, I think. Is
Yeah,
setting
I can't
yourself
pull out of
goals. That's a really good way of doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, positives then, like you're saying, we've got Halloween, bonfire night,
Yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
New Year's Eve if you're into New
Yeah.
Year's Eves.
New Year's
Yeah.
Eve, and then
Boxing Day is always good fun.
yes, going out having a few
Yeah.
drinks.
We actually went to a dad's club on Saturday as well, Saturday morning in Clanbryan Hall. I think Epic Dad's Harbour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I'm going to go to that more often as well.
That sounds really great.
It's
Like,
cool actually.
It
It's
is
good.
really good. We literally stumbled upon it. We were watching the surf, me and Dave, by South Beach, and randomly it was on the beach. And then I asked somebody I knew, like a friend. He explained it to me what it was, and I think it's
the
like
dad's thing was on South Beach.
yeah, literally on the beach, and then the kids were like painting the stones and stuff like that, and it's really good. There was like coffee and like donuts and
Nice.
maybe like bacon rolls, and yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I think maybe it's like some form of charity. But anyway, it's really, really good,
Yeah.
and then it gives me and Dave another option, say on a weekend, even if the weather's bad, because the last
Yeah,
one was
you're
in
indoors
a
and-
village hall.
Yeah.
So even if it was like howling wind and raining,
And I bet they're all in the same boat as well.
Well,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
You know, so
Fathers
it's something.
with
Yeah,
commitments and winter's bottlenecks, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So that's another good thing to look forward to. I'm not sure how often it is. Every couple of weeks or every month. I think. I don't know.
It might be. Look it up. It's
Yeah.
Epic Dads, and they are on Facebook, I think.
Yeah.
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 Another positive for me is
Yeah.
like
Go on.
this is going to sound really hokey and cliche, but like the sunsets you get in winter I look forward to them, like I really do. Where I work, the sunsets from that on top of that hill,
Yeah, you do get to see some good
they
ones
are
from there.
insane.
Yeah.
Like they are
Yeah.
insane. Like I would highly recommend in winter just driving up the hill, even to the National Library. Like,
And
That
that's if you're
vista.
not in
No, I bet,
work though, because when does it set? Like 4? Is it like
no, yeah, it's what between 4:30 and 6, like
yeah.
usually, something like that.
So
But it's so good. If you've got a clear day, oh my word, that's
Yeah.
really cool. I like that the program at my job gets a bit busier and a bit more jovial,
Yeah.
like because Christmas is coming.
Christmas concerts and things like that.
Panto hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're
Love
going to do
a
that this
panto.
year. We're going to go to that
Oh,
this
yeah.
year, I think.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Mother-
And then the
Mother
um,
Goose.
the kids aspect of it is how excited the kids get on the
Yeah.
lead up to Christmas is obviously another positive. But what I wanted to ask both of you about this winter thing, because like I said, I think I do struggle with the same sorts of things in winter as you guys, or like dread it on the lead up. But it seems like you guys obviously suffer a little bit more from it. When did you originally realise that you didn't like the UK winters, or going into them?
That's a really good question.
It's a very good question.
I can't pinpoint it. Like
No.
I think progressively since being an adult, I've got slightly worse at accepting winter's coming. And,
Really?
And now it's gotten to a point where it's like, yeah, it's really acknowledgeable, and I really recognise it in myself. And the more people I speak to about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're like really snappy in winter and like you just game all day and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, what else is there to do?" And they're like, "Go outside," and I'm like, "I don't want to fucking go outside. It's fucking raining."
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
get
hard.
really like, meh.
Well, you're right, though. It's just that, just getting out the door, isn't it? It's just like, nah.
Have you looked up anything into it?
Well, yeah, there is an actual thing, isn't there? I can't remember. It's the abbreviation is SAD.
Yeah.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Well, do
Sad.
you think you
Sad,
might
which is
have
nice.
a little touch of that? Maybe, I don't know. I'm certainly
So,
no
I've
professional.
actually, just when I was having my coffee, I was reading the symptoms, and the symptoms are so broad.
Are they?
Yeah,
And
they are quite
I
broad.
guess, so pick a symptom like lethargy, so you get more lethargic, right?
Yeah.
That's got so many levels in itself. Like, I get more lethargic, but I'm nowhere near sitting on the sofa for like days on end. Because I get my
Yeah.
legs literally start twitching, and I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna go for and then I'll do something stupid like run around blind dolly and pull a hamstring or something.
Yeah. I certainly get the low mood and all
Yeah.
that sort of thing. I know. I had I had a look at sort of a list like last week or something. But yeah, just the motivation goes a little bit of
Yeah.
what you want to do, but then it's a bit of a catch-22 as well, because the best thing for me personally is actually to keep active and to keep my brain going.
Yeah.
Whereas the motivation is kind of gone in the winter to actually go out and do the thing that's actually going to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's very, very
vicious
hard.
Vicious
It is.
little circle that.
And it's sort of fighting all the time. But yeah, I mean, I've been called out by my partner to say, look, you definitely struggle in the winter,
Yeah.
like, way more than you should.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's noticeable. You know,
And you know, she's absolutely right. Like we've got loads of friends, we've got family, we're actually really good. Like think about what we've done as kids. Like in winter, we've walked like to trap and like we've changed in toilets and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like what frothing?
I know.
Where's- we've got all the power and tools, I think, to be okay and get better.
I think realizing that, you know, or at least knowing that you're worse in the winter is a step in the right direction in some ways, because then you can combat it, can't you, with the things that we've been talking about. So, like, if you realize that, oh, here we go, we're gearing up for it, and then you put these things into place, it will make your winter a little bit better. And I'm sure there's going to be a few people listening to this podcast that think, yeah, I definitely hate the winter and things like that. And it'd be interesting to see what other people do to combat it as well.
Yeah, definitely. A nice little smoothener for winter is it's going to sound really trivial, but like having like a little fire outside in the evening, because like you can get the family involved and all friends, you know, have a couple of beers, whatever, and like it's warm and it's like oh, it's crackling.
yeah.
You know, that's a nice little break up as well. You can just do simple.
Only if it's not raining.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying right.
No, I'm just saying the
Elements.
weather ties in again, isn't it? So
Yeah, it does. If you got all that wood, and you're like,
soaking wet.
Rain
less,
for a week now.
Yeah.
but the less options is a real thing. That is. It's just
Yeah, less.
yeah.
I mean, it appears to be less options because, like, if I torched up my bike, if I got my bike and helmet like with really good torches,
Mm.
I could still ride like Nantes Ariane and stuff. I could still do it.
You know
It's
what?
just when you look outside, you're like, I don't have the stuff.
It is
Make
actually
that your
really,
excuse.
really good. Me and Dave
We did it, didn't we?
did that with a friend.
There we go. Let's do some. Let's do some night
and
rides,
it was
yeah.
actually really, really good. I think the torches are quite expensive, and
get
luckily
lumens.
for me and Dave, we managed
Borrowed
to
some,
borrow
didn't
them
we?
off some friends. But it was really good, wasn't it?
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to be a mountain bike ride or anything. You could go out and just get some cheap head torch or something from
Yeah.
Cheap Charlie's.
Yeah.
Just go for a walk, and you do feel pretty good coming. You know when you like it's freezing cold, you've got like a rain jacket on and all that sort of thing. But you know that cup of tea when you come back into the house or you have that
Yeah,
bath,
you got that red.
You feel
patch on
amazing.
your face, like,
you feel really good after it, don't you?
Like
You
a
feel-
Radox bath.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's true.
No, you do feel better.
You really appreciate your house then, and I think that's a massive positive. Like you really appreciate you got home. You know, I imagine your kids give you a hug or whatever, unless they're asleep. Like that's lush, isn't it?
No, it is nice.
I think
Definitely.
it's a similar feeling to when you have a really, really good workout and then you're like dragging your feet sort of back to the house, and then you feel like you've sort of earned the nice rest, and you feel like maybe you've accomplished something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You do feel a little bit
deserve that sit down.
better
Yeah.
about it. In the beginning, we were asking like how we all are,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And even though I am fine at the moment, but I tell you what, I'm really suffering with like the sleep deprivation at the moment, because my youngest has just had like a really bad run of sleep. I say sleep, waking up, like not sleeping. You know what I mean? And it's just been like some horrific run. Like it's one of the worst runs me and my partner have ever had. Like talking about it, and she's not like young either. It was just, and I think another thing is my eldest, looking back, was actually like pretty good, and we didn't realize how good she was maybe. And then now we've had maybe more of a normal child, or maybe even a bad sleeper. I don't know. It's hard to say what's good and bad, isn't it? Oh, it's killing me, you know. Like just getting up like every night at say 3 a.m. because I need to go and get like milk or jump in bed with her to comfort her or whatever. And I tell you what, started looking into like things of lack of sleep, and it can like lower your testosterone, which can all around affect your
Well-being
mood,
and everything, yeah.
the way you are, like the way you
And
feel.
your relationship, I guess. Like
Yeah, it is.
definitely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No sleep is a killer. It's
How
yeah.
old is your youngest now?
2.5.
2.5.
What,
2.5, yeah.
What do you think? What is it? Like what?
To be honest with you,
think
I
so now?
think it just is what it is, because we've gone through like 2 kids and you're trying to pinpoint it and stuff. And you're like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And yeah, it could be teething because she hasn't got all of her teeth and lots of things. But sometimes I just think it is what it is, and you've got to ride it out, and it doesn't last forever. And you've got to look at that light at the end of the tunnel. But she slept all night last night, which I'm really hoping is like not a blip, but it's like a break in the chain now.
Yeah, we hope
Because
so too.
it's hard. But then we're talking about putting on the brave face. I do tell some people about it, like how tired I am, but like, you know, people aren't always honest about how tired they are.
No.
And it doesn't matter if it involves kids or not. Some people have insomnia. Some people just struggle to sleep. They're worried about work. They think about a problem and they're up. And but yeah, not sleeping properly, yeah, it's a killer.
So how are you like in the mornings going to work? As in, how do you feel? You like strong coffee?
Tired.
Gotta go.
Yeah, tired. I get up at 6:30, which isn't like insanely early, but it is early. Particularly if you've been woken up, it's early
But, yeah,
in the night,
you could have another couple of hours of bed easy. That
Yeah.
if you've been woken up a few times.
and it's dark. And then, well, now it is sort of thing. You know,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
go in, have a coffee at my work, and then go to work and stuff like that. And then you come home, and it's like a whirlwind, isn't it? Of getting everything ready, cleaning the house, making the food, making sure the kids got everything they need. And then say the kids go to bed like a little bit late that night. So say they go down at 8:30. Then you think like your day is from 6:30 realistically to 8:30.
Yeah.
Then maybe you sit down and watch one episode of like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Other episodes and programs are available, but I'm watching that and I'm loving it at the moment. So maybe one episode, and then you go to bed, and then you're woken up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you get up at 6:30, and then I guess it's that repetition
Torture.
of that, and it is really, really hard.
Do you know what it is as well, though? Is what affects sometimes my sleep is the not knowing. You're thinking, am I going to get a good night's
I was
sleep
just going to
tonight?
ask that. Like, when you're about to go
You're
to
not
bed,
guaranteed.
Are you
Or
going, oh, in a
Sometimes,
minute,
yeah.
any minute.
There's no way.
Yeah.
You can't. It's a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't guarantee it.
Because our first was a bad sleeper,
Yeah.
and now our youngest, she is also not the best either.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fine now.
Yeah,
You know,
luckily.
There you
Done.
go. So there's,
Nailed it.
there's
Yeah,
there's
Cora
your-
is
certainly
really
some-
good, my eldest. So
Yeah.
that is a silver lining, but yeah.
But when you're going through it, my God, it's hard.
Yeah.
My God, it's so hard. I really struggle with that as well. You know, sort of, you're getting up in the night and then you're having to go to work and putting that brave face on where inside you're absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
And you're just necking coffee just to keep you going, and you're back home and you're back on the routine again, as you've said.
I think some people
Pretty relentless.
either put on a braver face than I do, or maybe naturally some people are affected by it less, because I know there's certain people, isn't it, that they say, don't they need 2 or 3 hours sleep. And I am not one of those people. Like I would like 8 hours every night, like a normal stint. So I'm not one of, and some people just seem to deal with it pretty good. But like, you know, my eldest now is 5, so realistically, I haven't had proper sleep for 5 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Because my eldest would have been 2.5, and then my youngest came along. So to be fair, though, my eldest was good. Though, to be fair, I'm not saying she wasn't. She did sleep pretty good, but in a roundabout way, I haven't slept properly for 5 years.
Yeah.
In some way, I know you're
mad, isn't it?
the same, and it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy.
You know?
Because I love this dynamic with us three, because Med, I know we've said it loads of times, but you've got all this to come, mate. You've got all this to come.
I've only gone
And
through...
we're not sugarcoating it in any way, shape or form. We're being
No, but
honest, which is, I think,
remember
the best
I-
way to be.
I've been on the sideline like, seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen I remember you with your youngest, Matt, with your oldest, and like I remember seeing you once, and like I could see through your skin on your face. I could see your skull. I was like, oh my god.
Me and Dave basically like Beetlejuice when we've had
It was
like a
like,
bad run.
Hi. Oh.
But you still said you were fine.
Oh, I know. I was not.
You just said I'm tired. You just said I'm tired.
Just tired.
Yeah.
Everything was a struggle.
It's like you couldn't be.
Everything
Like you
was a
couldn't be
struggle.
bothered to just even talk about it.
couldn't talk. Just,
And we weren't
you
being
know,
honest though. Like this
No.
podcast, like we talked about it a lot, but like say, you know, rewind only 6 months, and that's maybe when we've started to be we're honest with each other, but like really honest and talking
Yeah.
about things. And even when, you know, me and Dave spoke about it a little bit earlier on when we have kids, but I'd say in the last, say, year or two, maybe with the second kid, we've talked more on a deeper level
Nice.
about how hard some things are
Yeah.
with children, and the good far outweighs the bad.
Yeah,
However,
course it does, yeah.
the bad stuff is hard, because like, just not sleeping, like it is literally like a form of torture. And you watch the SAS, that program, it's a great program.
Yeah.
And then they just get woken up at like 3 a.m, and I'm thinking like, yeah, like that happens like most nights. I can handle that.
Yeah.
Like,
Bring it on.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should go on it. It's fucking easy.
And I'm just like lying next to my youngest, just like
Oh.
go to sleep.
So,
Yeah,
like,
like, some people are just good at it, though, aren't they?
well,
like-
I was going to say to
Or are they
rewind,
putting on a brave face? I
to
don't know.
rewind back to when I was a cook, like a chef. I didn't sleep because of the job. Like I didn't sleep longer than maybe 5 hours. a
Was
night.
it because the stress of the role?
No. I had to be in the kitchen for like 6, half 6.
Ah, you mean so you were burning the candle at both ends in a way, and
so
you went to
staying
bed
up
late.
till like 11, and then waking up at like 5, and like every day,
Yeah.
every day, and then even on my days off, I couldn't get out of that cycle.
Yeah, waking yourself up, but
But I didn't. But I just got used to it, and I just accepted that. I'm not saying you guys have to accept that's what's happening, but my body just changed into well, quite an healthy little place actually. But
That is actually probably a little bit similar to the kid thing, because you're so busy in that split shift that you don't really
you
get
don't have
any
time.
time for yourself. So say you finish realistically at like say 10 p.m. or 11 11.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, oh, well, I need a little bit of me time now. So you sit down, you maybe have a little bit of food, you watch some programs. And that's kind of what parents get at like these sort of, well, some parents with kids go to bed early, maybe 7 or 8 or around that time. And you think like, well, I'm absolutely knackered, but I want to have a little bit of time to myself or with my partner.
I'd actually be angry about, I've only got 2 hours now before I literally have to go to sleep. I'd be so pissed off about that. But like, this is unfair. And then I couldn't get to sleep because I'm angry. And then literally I remember just like every morning my alarm would go off and I'd be like, I don't even remember going to sleep. Like, what is going on? And I remember seeing 1 o'clock in the morning and you're like, I've got to get up in like 5 hours or 4 hours.
Back to it.
So bad. But now, like, I've got consistent rotas. I know when I've got to start work, and aside from like maybe having some time off and worrying about the next day, I sleep like a baby. Like,
that's awesome.
I have dreams like I've recently just started this big important course like for a qualification which I need. So I'm actually like a little bit stressed about that because it's going to have an exam and like I really want to pass it, and like I haven't done an exam. I can't remember the last exam I did. Probably in school or after school with cooking.
Really, you haven't done any? Well, yeah, I guess you've done little course, but you haven't done any form of exam with your work or anything.
I've done training.
Yeah.
And then like there's a small exam at the end, but
not a proper.
You have to get like above 60%. You know.
Yeah,
like,
it's a hard.
This is above 80, and I'm like, it's like a degree level of health and safety. I'm like, really like. The more I do each element and just learning it, I'm like, this is all heading towards an exam.
Right, yeah.
Which may hit about March or April next year.
Oh,
so just coming out of winter.
Will you have got, or if you pass that, gained the qualification? So how long is this course?
So the way I've done it is I've signed up to an online tutorship with all the elements and stuff, and then I can do it as long or as short as I want within 5 years. But
realistically, how long does it take though? Hard to say, I suppose, is it?
My boss says to give myself 18 months to do it.
Okay.
Which for me seems like a really, really long time to learn it. But like,
not something at degree level.
Yeah, if it's a degree level, I would say no.
So
18 months.
So I'm doing it when I'm quiet at work, and I'm doing a little bit at home. But like, I'm getting through all the written text quite fast.
Yeah.
But then at the end of this first element is a mock exam. And for some reason, I'm dying to get to that so that I know what's going to come like next year.
You've got a little bit of fear about this
so I think
exam,
I'm going
I suppose.
Yeah, so realistically, I need to check myself now. So I need to relax more and really maybe do 1 element a day rather than like try and do 3. Because I'm just so thick. Like I just jump straight in, and then I'm like, can't stop thinking about it because it's all I've been doing like all day.
Are you able to do this work though within the work time, or do you do it after?
Yeah, I'm lucky.
That's
really
pretty
lucky.
good.
Some days I can't. Some days it's absolutely possible. But I can usually fit in an hour or an hour and a half somewhere in the day. So yeah, but like I've acknowledged that I'm feeling like this because I feel like a little. Oh my god, next year I haven't done an exam of this level like whatever.
I guess just break it up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like section
and I don't
by
need
section.
to do it next March. I can do it.
I would try and change your brain there because
that's the thing. So
should be okay, isn't it?
I'm going to slow down, do way less of it so that it sinks in more. Because I think doing it too fast doesn't go in, does it?
Well, I suppose you're putting pressure on yourself as well, which you don't need to.
Don't need to do exactly.
No. Yeah,
I've acknowledged that quite quickly, and I've nipping that in the bud. That's all I got to say on that. But wanted to slip it in at some point.
Yeah, go to Dave then. We're talking like how we are, isn't it? So how are you, Dave, at the moment?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess if I'm completely honest, maybe about a week or so ago, I was struggling with sleep again.
Yeah.
I don't really know what brought it on. It was really weird. But again, just sort of waking up quite a few times in the night and just not being able to get back. But again, when you said you were getting up at like 6:30 in the morning, but if you've been up a few times and you've not been able to go back to sleep a few times, and you're getting up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, the day is quite a tough day ahead then because you're just tired, But right now, I feel quite good. I had a workout yesterday, and it's weird the way I sort of look at it. when I'm in that sort of mode where like a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious and things, when I'm not really sleeping that much, I look at it like it's weird. Like, you know, Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all the blocks.
Yeah.
They're kind of scattered everywhere in my brain. That's the way I look at it.
Defrag.
Yeah. So if I do like a workout or if I go for a long walk, they kind of start getting back into line. Like I start
Whoa,
thinking
that's
straight
really
again. That's kind of how I think my brain works.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like my reset.
Nice.
Yeah. And literally yesterday, I pushed myself on the bike. Sorry to keep going on about exercise, but it is like
it's
my
important.
go-to.
Yeah, if it's
Absolutely
your
important,
way
crucial.
of well, this podcast is about sort of mental health at the end of the day, isn't it? And
Yeah.
if that is your thing, I think I think it's a lot of people's thing. It makes you feel better, doesn't
Oh,
it?
it certainly does. And after that, yesterday, I could think straight. Really, really think
That's so
straight.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was tired. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, that's
But I was
the
able
kicker
to
of it.
think about, okay, what's coming up this week? What are we doing next weekend? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
I was just able to line stuff up again.
Yeah,
Whereas before it, I was like, oh, I need to do this, that. My head's all over the shop. Just lines everything up.
Nice.
Yeah.
that is good.
So right now, I feel okay.
That's good. You
Yeah,
know,
but I
after
need to get a
your-
routine and I need to stick to that routine. So
Yeah.
I'm signing up to something next year, which
Ooh.
is going to keep me
to give you a
ticking
goal.
over. A goal, like you said with the 10k run.
Yeah.
Or if anyone's listening, just set yourself small little goals. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be anything big.
No,
Nothing at
a
all.
walk,
Just-
a couple of walks a week, you could set yourself
Perfect.
a goal as.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you want to share what you sign up to or not? You don't
Are
have
you
to.
allowed to?
I haven't told my wife this yet.
Definitely share it now.
Yeah, well, doing the half Ironman in Swansea because we went to watch it 2 months ago, I think it was. It's the first time I've done a half Ironman in Swansea, and it was an amazing event to watch.
Nice.
Amazing. So Alistair Brownlee, and he was unbelievable. So he's like a gold medalist
I was going
triathlete.
to say.
But anyway, Alistair Brownlee and his brother, you probably saw a viral video of him and his brother.
Oh, is that
he was
the one
carrying
that-
himself over
Yeah,
the
okay,
I
finish
know what
you
line.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of them.
Amazing.
It's really inspirational.
Nice.
And it was like, I've got to do this next year. And the mate was with me, Tom, and we were kind of looking at each other and we were like, oh my God, we've got to do this next year.
Yes.
So the sign-up date is tomorrow, and I reckon it'll sell out quite quick. So
You're going to do it?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. So it's just another goal to get
Yeah.
us another. Yeah, like we're saying about the winter time, looking forward to things and just get myself
Yeah.
into that routine.
When's the date of it?
Yeah,
It's
when is
July,
it?
middle of July.
So
Nice.
it's a nice summer event then.
Yeah,
Well, it'll keep you going straight through winter, won't it? Like,
Exactly.
'cause you've got to keep training for that.
yeah. Winter miles, summer smiles is what they say. Yeah, so that is the plan. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, so
that's,
like
that's kind of me at the moment.
I'm also going to be, because I've been putting off for ages, I'm going to be doing some serious maintenance to my like hybrid bike though, and I can go on
Yeah.
roads and tarmac and track and stuff. Not my bigger bike. And I'm gonna get some good lights, and I'm gonna go on way more rides from my house on like cooler evenings when it's dark. I'll set off when it's like dusk, but I'm gonna do the same miles I do in summer, but in the winter, but with lights, you know.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna do that.
good, good.
Because at the end of the day, it's, the only thing that's different is dark and a little, and colder.
That's it.
If I've got the kit, which I
Yeah.
can get, well, I haven't got an excuse.
You know what? Yeah, a lot of sort of, I guess, sport things are related to having the right kit. Because recently I bought a winter wetsuit, and I've been putting off buying a winter wetsuit for ages because, like, right in the heart of the winter, like we talk about, it's not that nice sometimes. Yeah, but annoyingly, the surf comes in the winter.
Yeah.
I hate that as well.
Yeah,
That's a niggle of
that's
mine.
another
really
thing.
Massive niggle
But
of mine.
it's not even it wasn't even an option for the last at least 2 winters, maybe even 3 winters, because I was like, oh look, I'll buy a wetsuit to get me up until say just before December, then sack that off. I'm not surfing until it starts to warm up a little bit. But I bought like a good hooded wetsuit. Put it on the old Klarna. First item I bought something on Klarna, because going back to the last episode, it was about money stuff. I was like, if I can split that over 3 months, amazing. So yeah, I've got like a really good winter wetsuit, so I'm hopefully not going to be suffering when I go surfing
So Klarna,
this winter.
how does
What is it?
I've used it once. I don't know how it works and how they make their money. It's an app, isn't it?
You know what? I
basically?
googled it because I needed to know what they did, and I was like, do they sell your data? Do they? And annoyingly, I cannot remember, but obviously it is a business and they can make money somehow, but it is 0% over 3 months. So for me, it's kind of like a no-brainer. You think, like, we'll say, a £300 item right out of your bank, bang, or just 100 next month, another 100 next month, another 100. That's it. 0%, no APR, no nothing. That's the reason why I did it on the wetsuit, because it's quite an expensive wetsuit. I thought, well, I'll split the cost,
Oh man, I really love putting that on, and when it's dry, and then you put it on and you get out and see. And
yeah, it's like a really good XL one.
That cold doesn't. It only touches you here because of the wind and the
yeah. So hopefully,
good wetsuits are key.
Hopefully that's good. But yeah, keep yourself out. Sorry, Dave.
So I'm just thinking, like, if anyone listening who does suffer with this SAD, what was the
seasonal affective disorder?
Yeah, then definitely a routine by the sound of it, isn't it?
And exercise.
Even though it's terrible weather out there, just try and get yourself out the door. It's the hardest thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to butcher the science here probably, but like
hit us.
It was endorphins, isn't it? Like that chemical.
So like it releases something.
Once you've exercised.
Serotonin.
Oh, serotonin. That's the one. And that helps you sleep. That's what you need to sleep. So.
Yeah. I think it does a lot of good things, but I'm not even going to pretend to know what it is. But working out is good for all sorts of reasons.
In summer, isn't it? Like you wake up, you go to work, if that's your day, and then after work you can do loads of activities, even till like 11 o'clock at night, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And then you sleep through, and then it's dawn at like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm up then, but I've slept deep enough that I'm
ready to go.
Oh my God! I'm
ready to
go. Walk with a little coffee. Like
nice.
That is nice. Stuff like that is nice. Looking forward. Tell you what, another weird thing, just talking about winter and stuff like that. Almost every like November, probably a lot of people do this, but I don't really realise it. But I'll go on like a weird mini diet, tying into one of your like earlier episodes, but for the whole purpose of knowing that I'm going to eat loads in December. So I'll go on like a really weird diet in November, and realistically, like say I don't know what it is. Say I'll lose, not a lot, like 5 to 8 pounds, say something like that. Realistically, I'm gonna put it all back on in December because like the Roses come out, the Quality Streets come out,
Home Alone comes out again.
Home Alone comes out
already.
The O'Gillian chocolates and the Lindors.
5 minutes, mate.
So
Lindors.
Oh, I know.
Heroin. That's like heroin to me.
That's amazing.
It's a crack, isn't it? Moorish.
It's cold. How do they make it cold in your mouth? Oh,
it's lovely. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll go like a mini diet. Me and my missus will do it in November, and then weird, knowing full well you probably just pack it on, get a nice winter coat for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a tough month. It's a tough month.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food lying around.
Paddy the Baddy style.
Yeah, I do just love food though, and Christmas and the roast.
You're just
and,
grazing on stuff all the time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Somehow your house is just full of snacks and bits.
And beers though as well, like Guinness. I just have like a Guinness.
Mulled wine.
I love mulled wine.
Mulled wine.
See, these are some of the positives, even though it comes with like maybe a touch of a negative, like the weight. But
the weight and the little sore head in the morning.
It's neither here nor there. But just like Guinness, mulled wine. Food.
Cold Guinness while you're watching a nice film with your fam.
Lovely.
It is nice. See, there are some little nice bits along the way to try and. So yeah, it's true. Try and look forward to certain things.
Yeah.
Set some goals.
That's really good.
Really
Exercise if that works for you. Like I think it does. It works for almost everybody. I think exercise makes you feel. I think it makes you feel better about yourself.
It's all relative, isn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like you say, you can just like walk around the block.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It
Shop
doesn't have to be anything.
And I think
hardcore.
you see that. I think you see that as in winter. I think you see people just walking around blindfold like a little bit more than you might see in summer because they may go further afield. But you see them like scarf, hat, and they just do that walk, and then they probably go home and that's nice.
Or those cold, crisp days, which are actually lovely.
That's a positive.
That's a positive, right?
Big positive
and everybody is on the prom because say it's been raining for 2 weeks, then you get like that Sunday. And it's like glorious sunshine, probably about 0 degrees.
Yeah.
Those types of days, I'll go for a sup in the sea if
Yeah.
I can. On those type of days. Or, you'll just see everybody walking the prom. Because everyone feels the same way. They want to get out. You got your sunnies on, your hat. It's
Get
cold,
that vitamin
it's
D.
crisp. which I think helped a lot.
I feel so much better about winter already.
Yeah, same.
Like, literally.
Let me have it.
I'm actually quite looking forward to it almost in a way now.
I feel like the weight's just gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to break. Yeah, I think that's what I do. Subconsciously, break it up. Vitamin D, workout. What's the next thing you can look forward to?
I've never thought about looking forward to little bits of it. Like, that's
Well,
amazing.
Halloween's next. I'm like Cora's. Like my kids love Halloween. I don't know what it is, but like all year round they will watch weird YouTube videos of Halloween. Like they love it. I don't know what's going on. So it'll really ramp up in
I
October.
don't know. Aren't you like addicted to serial killers?
Yeah, I suppose a little bit. A lot of people like crime documentaries, though, don't you? And also, on a future episode, I think we'll do binge-worthy shows, and we can really get into like the crime docs.
I can't wait to talk about Naruto. Oh my god, I can't wait.
So we'll go in on save some of that back for that. But yeah, you just got to think of the positives, don't you? You know, and also when you get a nice cold, crisp day, and it's really in autumn, the orange leaves, and like I don't know, even sometimes I look forward to like sounds a bit weird, but like wearing like a different set of clothes. Like you might think, oh my god, I haven't worn that lovely, nice jumper or like that lush coat. That like I don't know.
I said
there
the
are
exact
positives.
same
You
thing.
know?
I went for a lovely meal with two of Rachel's friends who I've met a few times, but like it was really nice to chill with them. Fionn and Simon, really beautiful people, really nice. Live just down the road from you, Davo, just the other side. And I wore my puffer jacket, which I only have in winter, for the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember putting it on, and I was like, still smelled like the barbecue that I had like last winter, like the last bin fire I had. And I was like, I felt really nice about it. I was like, oh, I got this coat.
Just got to find
it is
the
nice putting warm
little
clothes on.
positives in
And
it.
Rachel's like,
Yeah.
I forgot you had that coat. I was like, me too. So we're hanging up.
Lovely.
Yeah, nice. Not all bad, huh?
No, it's not actually. In the end, I think if you sort of break it down and get goals,
Perspective sometimes.
perspectives, yeah, there is positives definitely, and
Or like,
it's good to talk about it as well, isn't it?
Oh, it's definitely good to talk about. Another one I thought about, I don't really do it that much, but because of what Med said on the last episode and Gavin with his episode, if you got into something like swimming, it just does not matter what the weather's like at all. Like, and I guess the same goes for the gym, or if you're lucky enough to have some inside workout apparatus, whatever. Like I've got a workout bike in my garage, and I've got a TV in there as well, and that'll get me through some winter months.
Oh, definitely.
Even, it doesn't matter what the weather's like.
I can't wait to get a setup like that. Like when I get a forever house, you know, like
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it at the moment. But
Yeah.
I can't wait to just binge a TV series while I'm like riding hard.
Yeah,
It is good, you know. Either music. Like I do struggle with not all forms of exercise, but running is a really good example. I tried to go for a run recently, and I couldn't find my headphones, and I was fuming because I'd rather not go. It sounds nuts.
No, I can absolutely relate.
I was fuming. 10 minutes going around the house, like throwing stuff. I was so angry about it. And then, like, weirdly, they were in my sock drawer, which I found like later on. And I was like blaming everybody. And that's all.
You've eaten them.
But I actually changed my workout. So instead of going for a run, I really want to go for a run. I went on the exercise bike, and I watched like a motivational. I think it was like an MMA video on the TV. So I just changed my workout because I couldn't find my headphones. I just can't.
Funny, isn't it?
I don't want to run
hard.
without.
Little things we
Oh,
do.
that is tough, mind. I think that I remember reading, I don't know, some sort of study that they did a long time ago when they were testing the same people who were running at a certain pace and how long they could cope for with music.
Yeah.
And then like a week later without music.
Yeah.
And mentally they were like, oh, I can't, they would fly in with the music.
Yeah.
But then mentally without the music, like a week later, they were like, oh, how long have I got left? And
Yeah, so
just,
quick.
Yeah.
You're thinking about just that, I guess.
Exactly. You're just hearing your feet.
Yeah.
And everything's like, oh, this is hard. Whereas with music, obviously, your brain goes elsewhere, doesn't it?
It does. Or even a podcast. You know
Yeah,
what? I've
podcast.
never run to a podcast. I do listen to podcasts. I love podcasts, but never run to a podcast actually.
I
Music.
have, and no.
Yeah.
For me, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people it does work for, because I mean, like you're exercising and you're learning, which sounds
My,
great.
for podcast
I guess a walk would
listening,
be better pace for
definitely.
that.
Yeah, for
Definitely for me.
podcast listening, I'll need to do like no descent mountain bike ride. So like I'll do like a long distance.
Like a chilled one.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool,
like
yeah.
a lot of flat or uphill, slightly uphill, nothing too strenuous, but like I can get into a podcast then.
Yeah, definitely.
Or an audiobook. I can get into an audiobook too. But if I'm audiobooking like a Dovey Bike Park, I don't even hear it, and then I'm like, I get to the bottom, and I'm like, what's the point? That's the point of that. At all.
I think I just got to listen.
Even
to
music, you just block that out.
Yeah.
Because you're so switched on to the descent.
Adrenaline's pumping.
But music for exercise in general, I couldn't do it without it.
Yeah,
I think
for me, it's a
music.
big thing.
I've got to touch on it real quickly. I think for mental health, music's really good.
Oh, I couldn't.
Like I can really sort of just be totally absorbed by it.
Some people say
Totally absorbed
about
by
music that if you're feeling a bit low, some people listen to melancholic music or like down or low music,
Emo.
and they think that like helps them.
it. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whatever helps though, isn't it? For me, I've never really thought about it too much about listening to sad songs if you're sad or whatever. But
I listened to a really good song the other day, and it was just like it sort of stopped me in my tracks. It was kind of, well, it was last week actually when I was having like lack of sleep and all that sort of thing. But it was actually Gabrielle Aplin. I can't remember the name of the song now. Salvation.
Okay.
It's just a really nice piano, but it's quite a bit epic towards the end as well. And it's such a good song. And it was just like on. I just cranked it up. I just stood there. I was just listening to it, and stuff just started like lifting out of my brain. And yeah, music for me, I think it can really take you somewhere else.
Definitely.
oh
And yeah, it's really good for you because it's not all about exercise, is it? It's about your creative bits going on in your head, or
Yeah. But you get lifts from music, like you can't fight the goosebumps that you get
No.
sometimes.
no,
What is
No,
that?
Definitely not.
That's a reaction to something incredible, you know.
It is.
yeah, we all get it, don't we? On a song like that you love, or like it hits like a crescendo, and you like I don't know, whatever, or live music. It does it for me.
Yeah.
Like well, and other music, but live music, when like say a band, they're about to go on and you hear that bass drum or something thundering through your chest.
Yeah. We'll hit a music episode again, boys.
Yeah, we'll do.
Because
we'll
I think we've got a lot of diverse listening between the three of us. I think it'd be really
definitely.
good.
And stages of our life, what types of music,
Yeah.
genres of music that we were listening to, and then the live aspect is like another element.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
It's like
100%.
live music's
It's the best, isn't it?
So
incredible.
I think we covered some negatives. I certainly feel more positive going into this winter now.
Definitely.
I'm going to be hitting up those vitamin D tablets.
Yeah, and look
just to
forward
give
to
it a
those
go.
little things that break it up,
Yeah.
and exercise, and just I'm gonna get a little bit of kit
Yeah.
just to enable me to go outside.
Exactly. I guess that's what I've done with surfing. Without that wetsuit, I wouldn't be going in
No,
this
get
winter.
you,
No
it's actually
way.
probably dangerous. Like
Yeah.
you get the chills.
And those like crisp days, sometimes there's a little wave,
Supping.
and then I'll go sup surfing, and that'll make me feel way better for the day. Going for a little surf.
And yeah, just pay attention to how the natural world looks in the winter as well. Like with those sunsets. Don't forget those sunsets and the sunrises.
Yeah.
They're on
Of course.
fire.
Yeah, if you can get up for that, or if you could, if you're able to
But it's
do
usually
that.
about 8 o'clock. It's quite
Yeah.
late now.
Yeah, exactly. One
That's true.
final tip as well I heard a little while ago, getting out of the house is like the hardest thing. So if you're going to go for that walk in the morning, or if you're going to go for that little jog, apparently it's just getting your gym kit by
Ready.
your bed the night before. So as soon as you wake up,
It's
Get it
right
on.
there. Yeah.
get your stuff on,
'Cause-
and then you kind of like, that stuff's on
Yeah.
mentally then, okay, I'm going for this walk, or
It's
I'm
like
getting
with
out the
your
door.
headphones, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
preparation
Change-
is key,
prep-
isn't it?
yeah.
It
Prep
is.
is key.
I know it's not easy, especially with young kids. It's like all you want to do is just go to sleep or watch something on Netflix. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is a good tip.
nice.
Yeah.
Happy?
Brilliant. Really happy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel inspired for the cold.
Yeah.
Let's have it.
I hope it's like a good little check-in, catch-up episode. Med's idea, great idea by the way. And maybe every 3 to 5 episodes we'll do it or something.
Yeah. Cool.
It doesn't need to take an episode. Just I think it's important to check in.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anyone's listening to this, just check in with your mates.
Yeah.
Just always
Give
see
them
how
a
they're
call,
doing.
text.
Yeah.
Go for a little walk or something with
Yeah.
them.
A nice coffee, Nemo
Oh
coffee.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Nice
Thanks,
one. Thank
boys.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks
cool.
very much.
Good.
You.